And we're live. If I sound like I'm out of breath, it's because I ran to the shop 3 times to grab my recording equipment. And if Kenzie sounds like she's out of breath, it's because she has asthma.
I never get to tell you anything. I purposefully didn't tell you about my doctor's appointment so we could have a live reveal on Sister Friends, but Mom cannot keep her mouth shut.
No, that little
Nothing
gossip.
happens in my life that she doesn't immediately tell you and Dad.
Mom is the circuit board. Like, she's the person at the control table of everything going on in the entire world. She is the head of the Illuminati. Like, if there's anything going on with anyone ever,
I mean,
she knows what.
you probably knew about my diagnosis before I left the doctor's office.
No, I just found out five
Oh.
minutes ago. But
We
yeah,
almost
no.
made it to
So
the
I
big
went on.
reveal.
I know, I know. We were moments away from the big reveal, but I made the fatal mistake of going to pick up
Hmm.
my dog at my parents' house before speaking to
Yeah, I have
you.
nothing new to tell
Um,
you because I'm sure they told you everything about my life. Literally every job promotion, every new
don't
apartment,
worry, I
like
started
literally
zoning out. I didn't
everything.
I, I
I
didn't
have to
listen to
like if
much.
it's something I don't want, if it's something I want to tell Dad myself, I have to say, "Mom, please keep this to yourself." And she'll say, "Okay, but you have to tell him today." She's crazy.
That's like when Tanner proposed, he like asked Dad, and Dad was like, "You need to tell my wife
Yeah.
immediately." You must run to her and tell her in this moment. No, so we both went on adventures today. I went to Amish Country. You went to the doctors. Who do you want to start with?
I'll go. So, I might never have had pneumonia, is like the craziest part. You know how I've had pneumonia twice this year? Now the doctor said she's more familiar with CAT scans than chest x-rays, but from the chest x-rays, she doesn't think she necessarily sees pneumonia. And so these could be asthma
Okay.
attacks, um, which were like brought on by allergies and also the cold weather. Although it also the one in January could have been pneumonia, and that's what brought on my asthma. But um, I'm wheezing heavily these days. I'm easily out of breath, and I pretty much have all the symptoms of asthma. So I took a bunch of breathing tests today, um, and now I'm an inhaler currently.
She has an inhaler. Ooh, it's cute. Do
No,
you get
so
to pick
I
what
have
color
two
it is?
inhalers actually. One has a steroid in it. So I learned way more about asthma today than I ever thought I would know in my life. I don't know anyone with asthma besides Kenzie Jones. Like she had asthma as a kid. And I don't know a single they're
Yeah.
like anybody in your family, your siblings, your parents. I'm like, no, none of us had asthma. Or
Apparently, Dad's uncle had
okay.
asthma.
I don't know if it's like genetic like that. But
Yeah.
sure. And I found out my our uncle John also was diagnosed with asthma as an adult. So maybe asthma is more common than we think it is. But anyways, um, albuterol, which is what this inhaler is, um, doesn't have any steroid in it, so it's more like a band-aid for the problem. The other inhaler has a steroid because what asthma is inflammation in the lungs, which means it's harder for air to get in and out. And so the other inhaler will actually work to work as an actual medicine and changing the inflammation and decreasing the inflammation to make breathing easier. And then this is just like a band-aid for when I'm like out on the street and like might have an asthma attack. But I feel validated in what those two episodes I had in January were what I could only explain to be an asthma attack. And I feel so valid that that's
Yeah.
like most likely what it was. Um,
Yeah.
so now I just have an
Do
asthma
you
currently.
feel empowered with this
So I do think it's
diagnosis?
why my pulse
Like,
is so high. So my lungs are working like double time to try to get air. And that just means my blood needs to circulate faster. And so that makes my pulse go up higher. So everything's like kind of checking out.
Yeah, the puzzle pieces are
And
fitting
like
together.
my asthma
Okay.
is made worse by allergies and cold weather. And so that's why like I'm wheezing now. I probably wasn't wheezing 2 months ago. And I might
Okay.
not be wheezing 2 months from now. And it might just be like I only need an inhaler for like these seasons or whatever. But
Yeah.
yeah, asthma girly, it's like the most common disease with no cure. Because there is no
Interesting.
cure. You
Okay.
just kind of like live with it, which I'm fine with. I don't know.
Yeah. It's like yeah, it's like psoriasis. It's like, yeah, I
Yeah.
have it. What are you gonna
Um,
do? Interesting.
um,
Do you feel different? Do you feel different knowing that now you're an
no,
asthma
but I do
girly?
feel like, oh, I need to like carry my inhaler. It's like one more thing I
Yeah.
need to
Have you got,
like
is
think
there,
about, but
yeah, is there asthma TikTok?
I
Like, have you
have
done a deep
not.
dive?
I
Are
don't
there
actually know
girlies
anyone else with asthma. There's
speaking
probably
about this?
Facebook boards I can join, like a whole group of
Gotta
asthma
get on
girlies.
the,
But I have really noticed it, like at the gym. If I do cardio for more than like 20 minutes, I do feel like I could have an asthma attack.
I think,
I
don't
know.
we all?
When I saw the doctor today, because she's like, tell me about when you feel like you're short of breath. And I'm like, well, when I'm at the gym doing cardio. And she's like, okay, so like how much? And
Go
she
off,
was like,
queen.
okay, so like, do you think that's normal? Like, is that what everyone's experiencing? And I was like,
Yeah. Well, it's like, I don't know. I've
well,
never
I
lived in anyone
know.
else's body
I'm,
before.
and then I had to be like, well, I don't want to like, I'm not like the fittest girl, but like I walk a block and I'm out of breath and that doesn't feel right to me.
Doesn't sit right in my bones.
And so, yeah, whatever. So now I'm an asthma girly. There is like a slim chance it could be something else, and so there's like whistles in my wheezing, and so I'm gonna go back in about 4 weeks, and if that's still there, I have to get a CAT scan, and they'll like look at my lungs more closely. But she's like 99% sure it's just asthma, and that's just like ruling out other random like small percentage of strange other things that you can
Yeah.
have.
Yeah. Weird
Yeah,
other random
but
things.
she's like
Yeah.
pretty confident. I
Nice.
did.
Did
Her
you
name
like
was
this
Meredith.
doctor?
Um, she was cool. She was giving mom energy. I have like
Hmm.
I pick at my skin pretty badly, like as an anxiety tick, and she looked at my legs and she was like, "What's wrong with you?" Like really blunt, and I was like, "Oh, it's like an anxiety tick," and she's like, "Oh, I use fidget toys," and I was like, "That's probably way better for you than me."
Oh, you don't just pick at yourself till you
And then
bleed?
I was like, wow,
That's
I
cool.
really wish I was wearing jeans right now. Um,
Th-
but
yeah.
this was like after I have to go through my
Today I had
medicine
the
every
same
single
thing.
time. And I'm always like, yeah, I want an antidepressant. Like, I have anxiety.
Yeah.
It's obvious. I also wish I could just use a fidget toy. But
Yeah. Yeah. Great that that works for you. My legs aren't my fidget toy. That's today I was wearing pants. I'm always a person that wears pants. But I was with Kaylee and she was wearing shorts. And I was like, wow, it would be so freeing and cool to like wear
we've
shorts,
often
but
talked about this. We're just
I
not
can't.
short gals, you and I.
No, it's overstimulating for me. Just to have like my bare legs touching things. It's like definitely just like a deep rooted like I
Yeah.
don't like my legs. It's I have so much razor burn all the time that my legs are either hairy
Yeah.
or they're bright red. There's bruises
Yeah.
everywhere. My spray tan ability
Yeah.
not existent, and it's like end of the day, I can just throw
A
some
hundred
jeans
percent.
on and it takes
I
care
know
of
I'm going
most of
to a
those
party tonight,
problems.
and I'm gonna be the only person wearing jeans, and I have no shame in that.
Yeah, it's like, and it gets to the summer, I'm like, oh, summer, shorts time. I
No,
don't
and
know about
even when I wear
that.
dresses, they're like long dresses. They're like at least to like my mid
Yeah.
calf.
I know there was like a phase, I think it was like last year that it was like, I need to start wearing shorts so that I can feel empowered to wear. No,
No,
I don't have to. I don't like it. I don't enjoy it. I don't have to be at peace. I don't have
I
to be a shorts
agree.
girly. I'm just a I'm just a dude who wears jeans.
I know. Even so, like Eddie and I will go out to like fancy dinners where usually I
Mhm.
would like opt to wear in the winter. I wear a dress with black tights, and now I've just been wearing like slacks to dinner because I've just like.
Oh,
I know.
you're a business
I'll wear.
girl. You're
I
wearing
know.
business
I'll wear like
casual.
slacks and then like a tube top or like I don't know, like
A tube
yeah.
top.
I'll send you
What?
a picture because you're not
She's a
thinking
tube top
about like
girly?
it's like I have
Whoa.
like big pants slacks like they're like wide leg. Yeah.
Like a trouser?
So I'm wearing like
Yeah.
like
I just didn't
I'm
know
wearing
you were
like
wearing
big
tube
pants little
tops.
top.
No, I understand the idea of a pants little top, but
Well,
you
that's
were wearing
just
tube
the
tops
last time I went to
specifically?
dinner I wore a tube top.
Is this a new tube top or did you have an old tube
This is
top?
one from last summer from Abercrombie. It's linen. It's black.
A
Oh my
linen
god, I'm
tube
gonna
top?
send.
What? Go
I'm
find
sending you a
this.
picture.
Go pick it out of your
No,
dirty
I'll show you a
laundry
picture
and
of me,
show.
literally the outfit.
I can't
So
even
this tube top
imagine what
has
like because like when I think
removable
tube top.
straps too to make it even more.
Oh, okay, that changes things. Okay, I was picturing like when I think tube top, I think of like it's a tank top like a fitting tank top with just like no arms. Like it has to be fully
Okay, like this
elastic.
is not. It has a zipper.
A zipper on a shirt,
When was like the last time
revolutionary.
I was even in DC? It had to have been eons ago.
I don't know. But yeah, no, I went into American Eagle a couple weeks ago and I saw tube tops and I was like, oh,
Okay,
it's
so
tube
this
top
is
season.
me
That's
wearing it with
interesting.
straps one time, but the second time I wore it without straps.
Oh,
And these are green
okay. Go
trousers.
off, Queen. Yeah.
And honestly,
Okay.
the look
Okay,
slayed.
I'm seeing it now. It
Slay the house
looks lay
down,
the house
boots.
down. Boots. Okay. Okay.
Zoe,
Fine.
must I remind
Fine.
you I live
She
in
has
New
a tank
York
top and
City?
tube top.
I I have fashion.
Crazy.
Speaking of New York City, how is the Amish country?
The same thing. It was the same thing, the same styles, the same uh everything. So I yeah, so straight up, I've never been to Amish country.
Not
Besides
true.
apparently like I
We
did
went to
go there.
Amish country once
I got some cows.
as children.
Yeah, we bought some cows and they died. We Wait, are you talking about that time or
No,
are you talking
literally
about a
every
different
single time
time?
anyone brings up Amish peoples, I'm always like, one time I went to Amish
Oh,
country
dead
and we got
cows?
cows and they all died.
They died. No, because I was telling Kaylee, I was like, yeah, apparently I've been here, but that was the time that we got the cows and they all died. And she's like, yeah, we also got cows over here and they also died.
That was really sad.
Um, yeah. Oh, it had like, there was there was a growth on a face.
I don't remember
It
any of
wasn't
that.
good.
Clearly, I blocked that
Um,
out.
th there there was an abscess and Dad kept squeezing the abscess, and then there was like one day it was like we were feeding cows in the morning and he was like it was like a couple days in a row that he's like, I'm gonna go into the barn first, assess the situation, and then you can
Yeah,
follow
I do
behind.
remember that. And then one day he was
And
like,
there
don't come in.
and there was like he's like, nope, don't do it. And we're like, oh, so they're dead. And he's like, yep, and yeah. But yeah, went to Amish country. So Kaylee's husband was at a golf scramble, and Tanner's on his bachelor party. And so I was talking to Kaylee, and I was like, "Hey, I don't have anything to do this weekend. Girls adventure?" And she was like, "Yes, we can go to one of these three places." And one was Amish country, and I've never been there besides apparently when I've been there that time. But like we went to an
and
auction. We
and
did
I
not
was
like we didn't
probably like what,
explore
8
the
and you were probably
Amish.
like 12.
Yeah, yeah. So like obviously not much of a memory. Um and I so first I dropped Ethel off at my parents' house and I was like, "Hey, go." It was like 7 so I forgot to ask my parents if they would watch Ethel last night and it was like past 10 p.m. and I was like, "Oh, I'm not going to text mom now because she's in bed, I'm in bed. I'm not going to be like, "Hey, can my dog come over tomorrow?" So at 6:45 this morning I texted her. I was like, "Hey, can I bring the dog over?" And she's like, "When?" I was like, "10 minutes." She's like, "Okay." And so I go over there. I'm like, yeah, I'm going to Amish Country. And they were like, oh, yeah, we used to go all the time. But we haven't gone since we had kids. And I was like, oh, 30 years ago? You haven't
You
been there in
went all
30
of the time?
years? You went all the time? 30 years ago? It has to be all different.
It's
But
probably the exact same.
but yeah, it yeah, it was. That's kind of the thing about that. That's kind of the thing. So it's still the
Yeah,
same.
that's like the whole shtick.
It's kind of the whole point. So, I'm sorry, can you hear Ethel
No.
howling? Okay,
Oh,
cool.
yes, I can.
Ethel, it
I
is
can.
fine, my dude. Ethel, I don't know what's up with that. We'll worry about that at a different time. So anyway, first we went to this like petting zoo place, and Kaylee's like, it's a petting zoo, and I was like, okay, so we're gonna see one horse, one chicken, one cow. No, this thing was lit. First of all, like I don't go to places where it's just like a kid adventure, you know what I mean? This was like there were more kids than there were adults. Um, so it's just I don't
Imagine a
know, like a
petting
little bit
zoo,
of a
but it's
culture shock
only
for me.
adults. it's
Yeah,
it's
it's
a
got a
freak.
farm. So they have shredded carrots, and you can buy shredded carrots for $1. I'm like, that's cheaper than buying carrots at the store
You're like,
to
I'm
eat
just gonna
yourself.
take these with me.
Yeah. So we got 3 things of carrots for Laramie to give to the animals, and there were tons of. There were sheep, there were goats, there were baby cows. It was so funny because she kept trying to feed the cows carrots, and like cows do not like carrots, and they would just like look at her. She's like throwing carrots at them. But like there were 2 baby calves that were like literally not even in a pen, and so of course I was looking at it from like an insurance perspective of like there's so many little
Hmm.
kids. What if like a cow decides to stand up and walk around? Um, but the pets were adorable. The place was beautiful. It was like on rolling hills, and they had like a little grocery store where they had like all of their products and stuff. Um, but like fun fact, I know like a little bit about like markets and stuff like that, and like I know most of that was just like a white labeled type thing. It wasn't like
Hmm.
real. Like it might have 100% been made by some Amish person, but like it was like marketed
Yeah.
by, I don't know. I I see through
Yeah.
some of the marketing. But still I got some good
I
bread,
heard
some
that Amish
jams,
mashed potatoes are like the best.
and mashed potatoes in general made by any person is the best. Yeah, I didn't partake in any mashed potatoes, but I'm sure. And then so we went to that little petting zoo thing, and then we went to a cafe for lunch that was delicious. And then we went to I can't ever remember the name of different towns. We went to this like little town where it was like basically like a whole bunch of shops that you just like walked around, and it was like very much just like touristy, like
Hmm.
candles and um, cooking things and baskets and
Hmm.
stuff like that. But it was fun, um, just to do some like little browsing, looking around, and then we went to a winery to to end the day. Um, and this is I want you to guess the price. Okay, winery, glass of wine for me, a flight for Kaylee. She had 4 wines in this flight. Guess how much that cost?
So in New York, a glass of wine would probably be $15. A flight would probably be
Mm-hmm.
25. Um, but in Amish country in Ohio, I'm gonna say the total together was $17. Ooh,
11. It was $11. It was
yeah,
$11.
that's a good deal. You should have
Uh,
stayed all day.
it it was I know it was wild. Like she said the total, and I was like, I'm getting both of these, and she's like, yeah. It's like that's
Was the
insane. That's
wine good?
insanity. No, it was wine. Like
Was the wine bad?
I no, it wasn't bad, but I wouldn't have been like it wasn't like a place where it was like, this is how we
Yeah,
grow
there's
it,
no
and it's
Napa
this like it
Valley.
was very much like here, yeah, it was like here you go, we have some picnic tables, um, but like pretty scenery. It was still good, and I was like for $11. I'm sorry, I couldn't get over the
Inflation
fact.
hasn't hit that
I
the
was like,
Amish
this is
country yet.
No, no. They're like, we're good. I was like, oh, this is a working man's winery. This is where I belong. Um, it's like it's been so long since I've been shocked by a price being so
Yeah,
low.
that's great. Wow, that's a
Yeah.
full
But yeah,
day.
that was yeah, it was. I am exhausted. Um,
I'm sure
just
it's similar to what Tanner did today.
it was it's so similar. Eddie sent me a picture of some action shots of Tanner on a bachelor party, and I sent some pictures of the animals at the petting zoo, and I said it's giving the same vibe, and he said we are a bunch of animals. Like I'm having a wholesome day in wine country. Tanner's
The
like
last time I
throwing up
checked
in
in, Eddie
Vegas.
had gone solo dolo and was shopping by himself because everyone else was golfing and it was like 110 degrees. And Eddie doesn't golf at all,
Uh-huh.
despite growing up on a golf course.
Yeah.
And so I was like, oh, nice. Solo dolo.
I'm good for, but I respect that from like a, oh, this isn't
Yeah,
my
and
thing
here's the
that
thing
I
about
do,
Eddie.
so
He
I'm not gonna.
hates sweating and being hot. Like, those are his two least favorite things.
Oh,
And
yeah.
so I don't think, unless he's like actively
Hmm.
having the time of his life, I don't think he would just like go stand outside in the Las Vegas sun.
Yeah. Yeah, he wouldn't choose to be doing, and aren't they having like
Yeah,
record
it's like
heat
really
waves right
not a
now?
pleasant time. I'm kind of nervous. So Eleanor's wedding is 6 days away. It's next Friday. And it's
Hmm.
going to be like 90 degrees and it's outside. And
Oh.
it's going to be fine because the wedding ceremony is at 5:30 and then so it's not like the heat of the day, it's not like a 3 p.m., but it'll be
Yeah,
toasty.
but it's pretty
But
close.
the cocktail hour and reception. So the cocktail hour is indoors, and then the reception is like indoor outdoor, um, open
Hmm.
concept, if you will.
Yeah.
And so, like, people will
Hmm.
be cooled off by then. But I
Yeah.
just know Eddie's gonna be like so hot sitting in the
Yeah.
pews.
Yeah, I've been to a few like really hot outdoor weddings. Yeah, and just like even dresses in general, like no matter what her dress looks like, she's gonna be
Yeah,
lugging a dress around
yeah.
probably. Yeah.
But it's been really fun doing all
Interesting.
like the last minute stuff. I dyed our hair this morning.
Hmm. Oh my
What else
goodness.
have we done? We're getting our nails painted. It's like the fun stuff is here.
Painted. That sounds so weird. Like we're getting your nails painted. Sounds different from
Yeah,
like,
we're
oh, we're
getting,
getting your nails done.
yeah.
You know what I'm
We're
saying?
getting our nails done.
I'm getting the paint
She's
like
getting her henna
yeah.
done on Wednesday, which is really exciting. I can't wait.
Hmm.
I know the next time we record,
That's really
it'll be
exciting.
like,
That's
well, actually, yeah, it'll probably have happened.
yeah. We're not gonna record the
Live from Eleanor's wedding.
oh, where's the wedding?
Um,
Dun, 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 dun.
we're walking out to
Oh,
instrumental Miss Americana, the Heartbreak French. So that's iconic.
dude, I know. I'm thinking. So we had our meeting with the DJ last week, and he asked like what song I wanted to walk down the aisle to, and I was like, I don't know, maybe just like the dun 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 dun. And he like for all the other songs that Tanner had like suggested, they were like vibing, they were grooving. He's like,
Hmm.
oh yeah, I love that band, this that, and then I said that, and he was like, oh, like, and I could see how like take like
Yeah.
he was just like, oh, he's like, okay, like what version? I was like, oh, I don't, I thought I was doing the simple route, and I just picked the one, but apparently there's tons of them. But and then after having that meeting, I was like, I would like some
Yeah.
instrumental Taylor Swift because there's just so many
I
good
know, so
good
many.
songs. And it's like,
And so we're actually like the
and I don't,
bridesmaids are walking
yeah,
out to it, and then she has a traditional, not the dun
yeah,
dun da da, but another traditional
hmm,
song.
yeah,
And then
yeah.
their first dance is Ho Hey by the Lumineers.
Okay, I can't think of it, but I
Yeah.
know it. Like I
Utah
know
did
if I play
not
it,
let her pick a
because
Taylor
I
Swift song for their first dance. Um,
yeah, I don't think Tanner would necessarily be down for that. He likes Taylor's songs, but like I
yeah.
don't think he would be a down to clown, maybe.
When I went to
But
buy this coconut water
interesting. Yeah.
near hours ago, the guy ID'd me.
Yes.
He was like, "Can I see your ID?" And I looked at him and I was like, what?
Why?
And then he kind of did a second and I was like, I'll show it to you, but that's coconut water. And he goes, you're right, you're right, you're right. And I was like, sir, do I need to ID you? Like,
Sir, am I the cops? I'm sorry. Why are you scared of me, bro?
Like, wait, are you drinking? Because I'm not.
That's. Do you remember the time that we were in Miami and we got coconut water and we were like, "Oh, this is the most disgusting thing we've ever had in
No,
our lives"?
I think we got coconut milk, which is the most disgusting thing I've ever
Oh.
had in my entire life. I love coconut water though. I think it was coconut milk. I don't know. I like coconut milk too.
I don't know.
No.
We had coconut stuff, but like I'm a person that like I can eat pretty much anything and everything, drink anything and everything. But it was like one of those things that I was like, oh,
Let's
I
talk about
actually
that trip to
can't
Miami.
get this
Let's.
down.
So
We're going
Zoe
to
got
Mhm.
a trip. Why did you get a trip?
Because so mom asked me if I wanted to have a graduation party
Yes.
for graduating high school, and I said no. And she's like, well, we can't just like not do anything or something, or maybe she was like, I'll either pay for you to have a graduation party or I'll just like take you somewhere. And I was like, take me somewhere. I don't want a party to celebrate me. That would be awful. And it was a
Okay, so that's
surprise.
not the time I was invited.
No, no. So mom took me. We went. We stayed at like a nice hotel. We went and got pizza on the first night. We watched a bar fight happen. I was like, wow, that's crazy. We saw 3 fights. We saw 3 fights in the streets, and we were like, wow, Miami's popping. The heat is hot. The people are mad. But we had like a good time. It was like I think it was like maybe just like a weekend. Like we just went to a hotel, we just went to the beach, came home, had a good time. And then maybe it was like a summer or two later. I was like in college then, and we brought you. And I think it rained every
no,
single
it rained.
day.
We were only there for 3 days. It rained 2 of the days. The one day we got our toes done and they all came off in the ocean. Not our toes themselves, but the polish.
Our toes rotted off.
I just
Yeah,
remember being like,
we got our toes
"Oh, I
done
bet this
at
place
the
is really
hotel.
fun if
Yeah.
you're 21." Because
Yeah.
we went and we saw Maleficent. Like that we were so bored we went to the movies.
Yes. Yeah, well, it was just like, what do you do in Miami if it's pouring rain and you're underage and you don't underage drink or anything? Like, and you're there with your mom and your sister.
We can only shop so much, and we shopped so much.
Yeah, I only shop so much. I was also in like at a very deeply insecure time with my body, and I remember like we were like trying on swimsuits, and I was like, I'd actually rather fly home than try on another swimsuit.
Yeah, I don't all I really remember from the trip is we had to go out super early to get our pool chairs. It was like one of those sort of resorts where
Yes. That's every resort I've ever been to besides the one in Hawaii. In the one in Hawaii, all the people with their like nannies would like go out and get the chairs. Like that was a whole different situation. A place that
Mom
I
was
couldn't
up
afford to be
at
at.
6 a.m. claiming our chairs.
But no, like I've been to 3 resorts, like a couple of like the Bex trips that you get for like the seat, and then that one, and it's like every single time it's like if you want a chair by the beach or by the pool, you have to get up and like claim your chair at 6 a.m. and then it's like just people like leaving towels.
Yeah,
and
and then
stuff,
there's like people not even
out
in
on
the
chairs,
chairs.
like flip flops, and then they're not in it for like 4 hours, and you're like, I don't want to be the jerk who like removes someone's stuff, but like no one's using this chair. Are they ever gonna come? There's nowhere to sit. And they need
to figure that out because it was
out.
stupid. But every like 20 minutes, maybe not, maybe like every half hour to hour,
It was every
someone
hour.
would come around.
Yeah.
They'd spray you with sunscreen or suntan oil, and then give you like a treat, and it was like yogurt covered pretzels or like I don't remember what the other ones were, but that was like the height of like luxury.
Yeah, and mom would let us get like one like virgin drink a day, and I got like
I had a
what's
lot
the
of
one that
Bahama
tastes
Mamas.
like a pina colada. Yeah, I had a pina coladas. I mean, honestly, they might have just been smoothies.
They were so good.
But it was like once a day. I got my like $8 drink by the pool, and I was like, wow.
I know. I
what is this
distinctly
life?
remember like taking a picture of my virgin Bahama Mama, like with my leg in it, like at the pool, being like, I'm so cool. And I was like 15. I don't know. I was not cool. And I remember another crazy thing is we had bought swimsuits from Victoria's Secret Pink back when that was like
Yeah, after we were
a cultural legacy. Like, I don't know why Victoria's Secret Pink had like such a chokehold on my generation between like their leggings and their quarter zips, and we were all just like wearing dogs on our clothing. But I got a swimsuit that was like way too cheeky, and I was so insecure. And I just remember Mom being like, just stop touching yourself. Just stop touching it. She's like, she's like, you're pulling way more attention to yourself. Just like, and I was just like 15 being like, I just want to wear like a full coverage swimsuit. But they didn't sell them. Like, I got the most full coverage
you couldn't find one.
And it was like still like
a
little too cheeky for me.
Yeah.
Oh, which is something else I want to talk about. Now in my adult form, I have one swimsuit. Do you also, are you like a one swimsuit kind of person? Or do you have...
No, like, have you seen the TikTok trend of like the bikini baskets?
I don't have that.
No. Also, like, I'm just like not the kind of person that's like a consumer of like, oh, I have 45 pairs of sunglasses. I have 75 pairs of pants. Like, I'm just not that person. But I will say this, is I was a one suit wonder for most of my life.
Also, for context, the trend is people have like baskets of like 20, 30, 40 different swimsuits.
Yeah. Or like someone goes on vacation and they pack a swimsuit for every single day.
That's crazy.
And it's just like, I'm sorry, that's insane. But I think it was before. So I went on a Bex trip 2 years ago, and I had my 2 swimsuits, and I was like alternating back and forth. And it was like I had a horrible burn in the one, and then the other one like just wasn't comfortable. And so it was like I was like going back and forth, like, okay, do I want to keep burning in all the wrong spots, or do I want to wear the uncomfortable one? And so then for the next trip, the next year, I bought 4 swimsuits with full intentions of none of them working, and like maybe one I would make peace with owning. And I tried them all on, and they all fit. And I was like, I'm just going to think about this. I'm just going to think about it. And then it was like another week, and I was like, that purchase was a while ago. I'm now a person that has 5 swimsuits because I had the one from the year before. I got rid of the one that didn't fit.
Yeah.
Because it just wasn't a vibe. And then I went to wash the one that I owned before when I was a 5 swimsuit girly. And I don't know what happened in the wash, but it became bleached in some way. So then I was back down to a 4 swimsuit girl. 5 would have been too much. I would have been flying too close to the sun. Like, would they have all fit into a suitcase? Who knows? But then I was like a 4 swimsuit girly, and it was crazy. Like, I went on this trip and I was like, I have swimsuit outfit changes. This is insane. And now I'm a person that has 4 swimsuits. And have I worn a single one last summer? No. Have I worn a single one this summer? No. Am I going to? No.
Here's the thing.
But I have them.
You know if you know. I have 1 swimsuit burn.
Because he has 1 swimsuit, and she'll never.
I have 1 swimsuit, and it looks like I'm wearing it all year round.
Because I still have the burn to prove it.
Throwback to your bachelorette when I was telling that story, and everyone looked at me horrified, and they were like, you need to go see a doctor immediately. You gave yourself skin cancer. Yeah, I have 1 swimsuit, and I wear it every day.
1 swimsuit, and now Kenzie looks like a turtle. Like, so it's a crisscross in the back, and Kenzie for years now looks like she has a turtle. I've
already showed it on the podcast. If you haven't seen it, you have to go back and look at the other videos because I'm not showing it again.
She's a turtle back.
It's so sad.
Yeah, it's so bad. Like, when you go to the doctor and we have the update on the podcast in 7 years from now when you're like, I have skin cancer, you don't have to show me what they show you. I can draw it from memory. I'm going to be like, oh, did it show up exactly like this?
It's
in these exact
so
spots. You need a
crazy.
full body
Honestly, that
background.
swimsuit and I have been through like it all. So I got her freshman year of college, which like crazy that that was 7 years ago now.
Oh my goodness.
I know. That's how old you are. And she's been
I don't,
my
I
one
don't even want to. That's no wait. There's
four,
literally no
four
way.
years of
There's no way that.
college.
Oh wait, you're freshman. Okay, I've been out of college for 7 years. Okay, it's been 11 years since I went to college. Jeez Louise.
Anyways,
Okay,
and she's been my
okay.
one suit wonder this last 7 years. Maybe I should get a new swimsuit.
I mean,
Also,
no, no. That's the thing. Is
I
like
mean, if she fits.
no,
Well,
it's
and the thing is the
timeless.
back.
Yeah,
Because
that's
the
really the
back is
biggest slay of the whole
adjustable.
thing. You're telling me that you
That's
fit the
what, hold
same
on, that's what I was
swimsuit as
saying.
your freshman year of
Which
college.
I have gained a number of pounds that I'm not willing to share with the internet since I was.
That's absolutely no one's business.
But because the back is adjustable, you can. I used to like really suck myself in, and now I just been slowly letting it out every year.
It went from like having no back to being fully backless.
Yeah, it was like a corset back. So I used to have, and the worst part is the tan lines no longer line up. It's a constant reminder that I'm not the same size I was 2 years ago. Oh, shoot, that's funny.
Oh.
Yeah, I think I need a new
Hey, but
swimsuit.
you have asthma now. I think you should treat
Also, my
yourself to a new
nose is a
swimsuit.
faucet. Like, it just won't stop.
But like, okay, but honestly, as an adult who lives in New York City, when do
No,
you need a
when I go to the
swimsuit?
Hamptons, which is never. And,
Oh.
yeah, it really doesn't. Actually, I do have one other swimsuit that's really ugly, but it's, like a very conservative. The one that I burned myself in is like a little too risque to wear around like Eddie's parents. Eddie's parents would probably be like, show more skin, but I
Yeah, you're
myself am like, oh, I'm insecure. And so I do have like a big grandmother swimsuit, the skirt, and no, I'm just kidding. No, it's like literally
What?
just like
You have you have a swimming
it's
skirt?
literally just like a black swims two-piece that's like a bandeau top and bottoms. And I do wear that one to the park actually quite a bit to like get a tan on.
So it's not a wetsuit?
No. But because it is so conservative, you can imagine I have also great tan lines from that as well. Here's what you won't catch me dead in. A triangle bikini. Absolutely not.
Noted.
Any one
No.
piece that has weird cutouts. Besides the one
Okay.
piece.
The one I own. You'll
My swimsuit doesn't have cutouts though.
You'll never see me in this kind of outfit except for the one I
I'm just saying,
that is
haven't you
kind
seen
of
those swimsuits where you look at someone and you're like, I know you have weird tan lines?
Yeah. Yeah, you're like, there's
Like,
no
I'm
way.
not, yeah.
This looks normal.
So that's what you
Yeah.
won't catch me dead in.
Okay. Oh.
Ah, my allergies are so bad that I'm just like, the post nasal drip is insane.
Takes a pull of the inhaler. Can you overdo an
I
inhaler?
don't think so. This one only has 173 pumps left in it.
Is it like a clicker,
Yeah.
like so you know
Mm-hmm.
how many pumps you have left?
And then she gave me a spacer. So you take this and you put it
Which
in here,
is
and then you.
so when you want to like really have a hookah party, you're gonna put
No,
the
because
spacer in
you
there.
have to time it. You have to push and inhale at the same time. And this, like, will trap the medicine in here. And so you can push it and then
Okay.
inhale instead of doing it at the exact same time. So you can do like, instead of doing. It just gives you more control.
Oh,
I don't know.
okay. Go off, queen.
My whole like apartment is just filling up with like random medical products. I have a nebulizer now.
Hey, sometimes you just gotta nebulize. Did we already talk about me being CPR certified?
No, that's great.
Oh, I'm once again CPR certified. This is crazy. We were doing the CPR certification. My hand started bleeding because I wasn't wearing gloves at work and I had a cut. Um, but I didn't do the first aid portion of the evening because I certified that like 2 years ago or something. I didn't need to re-up that. But we were like sanitizing the stuff and I was like, I know you guys talked about like what you're supposed to do with blood, but like I wasn't here for that part, so I'm just gonna wipe this up real quick. There was like a sanitizing wipe and I was like, my poor little CPR dude had like blood all over him. I was like, it looked so much more gnarly. Like I was like, no, I swear I didn't make him bleed while giving him
You
CPR.
know, if I were to,
But yeah, 30 pumps, two breaths. 30
I feel
pumps,
like if
two
I
breaths.
were
30
to
pumps, two
die
breaths. Call
and I had
911.
to choose one member of our family to perform CPR on me, I would choose you.
Hmm. Oh yeah,
Who would
any
you
emergency
choose?
situation in our entire family. None of you. I'd save myself. Dun, 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 staying alive. Dun, dun, dun. I would actually tell you guys. I'd be yelling at all you guys to back up. Let me handle. Do you do you remember the story of me choking at home?
No.
Do you remember the time I almost died? Okay, we were having pizza on the back patio, which like we didn't eat outside often, but we got pizza, specifically Paisanella's pizza, and it was mushroom and cheese, and I was eating with my hair down. As one might do. And I had a little piece of my hair. It was windy outside. A little piece of my hair blew in as I was eating. And it wrapped around a piece of mushroom and cheese. And I started choking. And I could feel the hair holding it in my throat. And so I ran inside, not being able to talk, trying to find a pair of scissors. Because rather than pulling it out of my throat, I was just gonna cut it so I
Was
could
it one
swallow it
hair?
down. And it was like one, maybe two
Why
hairs.
did you just rip it?
And Cody, Kenzie, we're getting there. Cody immediately started screaming, "Zoe's trying to cut her hair." Because there may or may not have been a few instances where I wanted to do a little chop, okay? And so Cody's like so concerned that I'm cutting my hair and trying to tattle on me while I'm trying to save my life. I can't find scissors. I'm like looking for scissors, and then I get smart as I'm seeing white, and I pull because it was literally like right there. I pulled it out, and I was holding the hair and the cheese and the piece of mushroom. And like as Cody's still like trying to tell mom that I'm cutting my hair, and I was like, but I saved myself.
That's a perfect example of why Zoe would have to save herself.
Like no, everyone was more concerned about me cutting my hair than
That's
dying.
so wild. I was probably just like frolicking around.
Yeah, you're probably like, I'm 4.
That's my excuse for the whole childhood.
Uh,
Wow.
oh no, I can rise to the occasion. Except for also like there have been times like when Dad was like in the hospital and I passed out because they were just like explaining to me how kidneys worked. But there was like another time where he had like blood running down his face and I was like, I'm gonna pass out after the fact. So I doctored him up, made sure he was fine, and then I sat in a chair and then I told him he couldn't talk anymore because I was starting to black out. And then I had to just not think about it much.
Blood does not bother me. I got blood work today and I watched the whole thing happen.
Oh, see, I went
My
to the
blood was,
doctor
like,
on
gushing
Friday,
out.
and they were
Like, they filled those tubes so fast. It must be because my heart gets so fast.
"Oh, what?"
It's like literally like immediately like filled up.
Oh my gosh. I can remember when I had mono and they were taking my blood and they had to get like so many vials for some reason, and the lady was like, "It's just not coming out."
Don't like that.
She's like, she's like, "You're clearly sick. Like your blood doesn't even want to come out
That's
of you."
crazy.
But yeah, no, they asked me if I want to get my blood taken, and they're like, "When was the last time you had it?" And I was like, "I don't know, maybe like January, February." They're like, it's like 6 months to a year. And I was like, let's not do it, because in the moment it's so much easier to say no than
Mm-hmm.
saying yes. And then I left and I was like, I should have just gotten it. Like, what would have hurt to have gotten it taken? Like, it would have just like
I feel like
kept
every
knowing
time
I
I go
was
to the
fine,
doctor,
you
they
know?
take my blood. Like, I've been to 3 doctors this month. Every single time, they took my blood. Girl,
Yeah.
for
But
what?
yeah, doctors shouldn't give me options. Like, if they're gonna give me options, like, do you want these things? I'm gonna say no. Like, I don't know. They shouldn't have given me the
Must
option, or
we,
I
at
should have
least
just
we not
been
forget
like,
that doctor, the very same doctor you're talking about, said, should we do genetic testing? And I
mhm.
said, sure. And I screwed myself over if I ever, like, want to be self-employed. So, good for
Yeah,
you
that's
to say no.
crazy. They never asked me that. They never asked me if I wanted genetic testing, and I had an issue when I was like in like a freshman in college. They did some tests, and she was like, I went back and I had some issues last year too. And I'm being so vague, like it doesn't matter. This is not life or death in any way. But I was like, oh yeah, they did a bone density test. When I went to the doctor, like the first time for this issue, and she's like, why? I was like, I don't know, because they said they needed to do a bone density test. She's like, I don't think you had a bone density test done. That doesn't make any sense. And then she like went back in my charts. She was like deep diving. She's like, yeah, they did do a bone density test. That makes no sense. And I was like, I like watching you question
I had
another
a bone density
doctor.
test
Like,
once.
give, gives me so much faith,
Yeah.
that.
Well, that was today. My doctor was like,
But
I don't think you had pneumonia. And I was like, oh, that's crazy.
oh, that's crazy.
That's
Trust no
crazy.
one.
I was just
Crazy
jealous because he had
girl.
Freb.
Uh, did you did you have any life or death
As a
situations?
child?
Just in general.
Um,
Of you personally, lifing or deathing. Have you seen your world
I
flash
did
before your
almost
eyes?
fall out of the combine once because Dad didn't shut the door all the way and I leaned against the door. But I didn't. I only fell to the outside portion,
To the
not like outside. And so I think it
yeah.
was actually probably in retrospect not
Uh-huh.
that scary, but that was like a scary thing to me in a moment. Um,
Mhm.
no, I really don't think I've ever like looked death in the eye like that.
Okay. Yeah. Hmm.
I've done things
Hmm.
where I wanted to die, like when I backed the gator into the garage.
And then you
I
ran
wanted to
away.
die.
You beelined it.
I feel like
Dad was just yelling behind you
we
like,
shared this
it's
story.
fine. It's
We were gonna
fine.
we had a gator and a
Yeah.
golf cart growing up, and we would take them around the outside of the property as like a nightly family activity.
Yeah, just
And
going on golf cart ride.
I was like,
Gator
oh,
ride.
I'll back the golf cart out because it was the golf cart. It was not the gator, and I backed it in. There's like it was a 3-car garage, and I somehow hit the spot between the 2 doors.
Like she
Like,
could not. I don't. You went square. But like, it's as if you jumped in and
I
didn't
know.
look back.
Like the space, I know I had to have jumped in and not looked back because how do you hit the one spot that's not in the garage doors? Anyways, I didn't even look at the damage I
Yeah.
did, but I knew damage was done, so I ran and not even.
She
I
didn't
didn't.
hit and run. She hit
I
and
didn't
ran.
run into the house, and I didn't run to her parents or to Zoe. I ran to the trees, and I hid amongst the tree line in my shame.
And like our parents have always been like, it's never like if you do something wrong, you'll get yelled at some point. But it's not like in the
Our
moment
parents are
we're
so
coming after
nice
you.
and forgiving people.
No. And it was like Dad hit, like you hit it, you ran away, and Dad was like, "Oh, okay, I just
No,
need to patch the
literally,
drywall."
no one was mad at me.
And then we had to go find you and talk
No
you
one was mad at
down.
me. I
No,
was
they should have been.
hyperventilating.
It's like when I got my tattoo and I was like hyperventilating, calling Mom, and I was like, I ruined my life. And she's like, okay, so you got a tattoo. What else is wrong? I'm like, that's it. She's like, clearly, like, you're also pregnant? Like, what's wrong? Because this is not a normal reaction.
It is funny how you'll call mom. Like every time I've hit a deer or something, and I call mom, and I'm
Mhm.
like worked up. She surprisingly cool as a cucumber. She's like, okay, great.
Mhm. But when you call and
No,
nothing's
I
wrong,
know.
she's like,
And then I call and I
"What's
call her every single day,
happening?"
and she's like, something wrong. Or I take a nap one
No,
time.
that is every yeah. Oh. No, it's every time I call mom, it's like, "What's wrong?" Or I'll be like, "Hey, call me. Nothing's wrong."
The
And she's like,
other
"What's
day,
wrong?"
she texted me at 6:30 in the morning, and she said, "Call me when you wake up," in all caps. Nothing is wrong. And so I wake up, I call her, I'm like, "Hey, what's up?" She goes, "Nothing is wrong, okay? But there's something I want to talk to you about." And then she goes, "Listen to me. I'm making it sound like it's such a big deal. It's really not a big deal." And I was like, "Can you just tell me what it is?" And it was nothing. Like I don't even remember what it was. It was like literally nothing. Oh, it was about if Eddie should meet her halfway or if Eddie should drive the whole way to Ohio. She's like, "I just want to know if he has a preference." I was like, "You gave me heart palpitations about like nothing."
When I found out that Eddie's dog is staying with our parents at the farm. When I was talking to Dad, and Dad said something, he goes, "Yeah, when Eddie comes this weekend." And I was like, "Eddie's coming this weekend," and he meant to say Rumi, but he said Eddie. He's like, "Yeah, Eddie's staying with us for 3 weeks," and I was like, "What?" He's like, "Yeah, he's just really busy, and so like the dog's just gonna come to the farm for a couple of weeks." And I was like, "Eddie's really busy, so he's coming to the wait." This makes
Can
literally
you
no
imagine?
sense. I'm like, I'm sorry, what?
Okay, I have to go because I'm supposed to be meeting her in 4 minutes, and I'm not in my clothes.
Okay,
Thank you.
have fun.
Have a great weekend. I hope you can get this audio to me ASAP Rocky so we can put it up tomorrow.
Uploading immediately.
Okay.
Immediately.
Ta ta.
Okay, bye.